So I saw this thumbnail, and what we have here is a group of persons trying to sell a product because they're not interested in reality. They're not interested in the truth. They are trying to pitch a product. So we have those who are trying to sell to the descendants of slaves born in America, the once called American Negro. They want to present to the masses that they are Aboriginal, whatever the hell that is. We really don't quite know what that is. And then we have the other side, which is called Pan-Africanism, unspecified Africans, unspecified Aborigines people, but both sides are trying to pitch a product. They're not interested in the truth. They're not interested in the reality. And I was going to watch this back and forth, but I could not, and I knew I could not stand almost 3 hours of egos. That's what it is. And the information, a lot of it, is valid, but it does not fit nor support the conclusion, the product that both of these ideologies or beliefs is trying to sell. On this platform, we're trying to find, to the best of our knowledge, the reality, the facts. And in order to do this, we must use logic. We must be rational. We must be able to reason. We must be able to use what is called common sense. We must have no bias and no prejudice. We should not have a narrative or a product to sell. These persons here are trying to pitch a product. The sad thing about it is they have no debate skills. I guarantee you the majority of them have never been in a formal debate. Many of them have never even taken a debate class in school or in college. They are emotional because they believe in their religion, because that's what it is. It has turned into a religion of belief that they are Aboriginal or that they are some type of unspecified African. You will hear them, because they lack debate skills, you will hear them talk over one another. They are emotional, so they cannot hold a civil conversation. And they read a lot of books and get a lot of information, which comes from white people. At the root and the origins of their belief is white people, white knowledge. No Africans taught them, shown them nothing. Nobody that's an Aboriginal taught them or shown them nothing. All their information at the root and the origin of all their information comes from white people, but yet and still they want to talk about and against Caucasian people, but that is the root and the source of your so-called information. When we are looking at this subject matter, we must look at it from the mind and the viewpoint of a criminal scene investigator, because in reality, this is a crime against humanity. So we must look at this from a detective point of view. This is a crime scene. And for these, since they do not have a detective mindset, they can only go upon the obvious instead of looking they are not able to see beyond the obvious. And these persons also have a mindset whether they ignore certain facts, of which you will see if you go to court. You will see the same behavior in court. A lot of prosecutors and defense attorneys, it's supposed to be about justice, but it's not about justice. It's about who can play the game the best. So we hide information and we ignore information because we don't care nothing about the truth. We don't care about the reality of things. We have a narrative to fill. So the prosecutor, even though he may know that a defense, a defendant is innocent, his job is to prosecute, and that's what he would do. But when you listen to them and hear them, they would tell you it's about justice. But many prosecutors have sent people to the gas chamber, to the electric chair, to death row, knowing that that person is innocent. The first problem both of these persons have is that they are not pure. They cannot they cannot prove they are pure. They're not pure. There are all kinds of Africans. When they talk about Africa, they never specify. When they talk about Aboriginal, they never specify. Unspecified Africans, excuse me. Unspecified Africans, unspecified Aborigines. There are all kinds. All Africans do not look the same, act the same, speak the same. They never specify. There are all kinds of Aborigines people. Also, according to my information, there are many Aboriginal people who are extinct. How do you know that you don't carry the DNA or you're not part of Aboriginal people who are extinct? But you only go on what you can read and what you know because you want to be part of something. Prior to this behavior, the so-called Negro wanted to be part of Caucasian people, and they were willing and still willing to die and suffer and sacrifice to be close to and want to be a part of white people. Now, some of them have decided they are willing to die and sacrifice to try to be part of something they never was, part of some Aboriginal, some type of African, because they want to be part of something. They want to be included. They suffer from low self-esteem. In order for you to claim Aboriginal or to be some type of African, you must show that you're pure. The so-called Negro in America is not pure. The once called American Negro in this country is exactly what Frederick Douglass, the abolitionist, said in his writings. The so-called Negro in America is a brand new, unique admixture people that was created on the slave plantation. And of course, they ignore the slave farms. Our situation is so bad that we really don't even know who we are biologically, because on the slave farms and even on slave plantations, mothers was forced to breed with their sons. Fathers was forced to impregnate their daughters. And we were sold from plantation to plantation. Biologically, we really don't even know. So how the hell, if we really don't know, also, once we became free and we still have this, carry this behavior today, we adopt each other. We call people father, who is not biologically our father. We call people mama, that's not biologically our mothers, and uncles and cousins and so forth. They're just good friends or whatever. Biologically, we know they did not come from us, and we still carry this behavior on today. I had an uncle who I found out was not my biological uncle, but I loved him, and he was accepted in our family regardless, and we still carry this behavior on today. We call each other cousins and uncles and fathers and mothers, and we are not related. But we must be pure. and the so-called Negro in America is not pure. That is why the conclusions of the Aboriginal community, that is why the conclusions of the Pan-African community or all these other folks, their conclusions is null and void, invalid, not credible, because you, the so-called Negro, if that's what you call yourself, or if that's your roots, you're not pure. A grapefruit is a combination of an orange and a lemon, to my knowledge. It carries the DNA of an orange. Mind you, a lemon is not pure. A lemon is a hybrid fruit. So you have a lemon, which is a hybrid fruit. It's not pure. And an orange. And then you get a grapefruit. The grapefruit carries the DNA of the orange. The grapefruit carries the DNA of the lemon. And remember, the lemon is not natural. The lemon is a hybrid fruit. So it carries all this different DNA. The grapefruit is not a lemon. It's not an orange. And it is not none of these unknown fruits within its DNA. It is neither. It is a brand new fruit created by mixing the orange and the lemon. And that's what you have with the so-called Negro in America. We are not pure. We don't belong nowhere. We are like a man without a country. We are not Africans. We are not Aboriginal. That's just the way it is, whether you like it or not. You have no CC. You have no C connection to nobody that you can prove. You have no contribution to their history. Africans do not teach about some long lost people kidnapped in America. They do not teach their people that because we're not related. We have no connection to them. Nor are there any Aboriginal in this country teaching that the so-called Negro is part of them. But you have these people trying to force themselves on others because they suffer low self-esteem. They want a place. They don't want to be brand new. They don't want to be original. They don't want to be unique. They want to be part of something old, and most of it is dead and lousy. I myself don't want nothing to do with that. I wouldn't mind being able to start from scratch, build my brand new culture, my brand new language, my brand new civilization. I don't want to copy and mimic others. So these people, they steal the history of other people. They copy the culture and want to be other people. And a lot of times, these people are dead. These ancient dead civilizations, of course, you know they cannot speak because they're dead. So you're going to claim them because if they were alive, like many Africans and Aboriginal people do not claim the so-called Negro. They do not claim you. They do not claim us. And so why go through all that when you can be brand new? But with all your smart, with all your scholarship, clearly you must be stupid because you're too dumb to create your own label, your own identity, your own culture, express your own uniqueness. You're too dumb and silly and stupid, but you want to be so smart. I would rather, and I have the ability to create civilization, to create my own language, be unique and express myself. And our people was doing exactly that during the time that I grew up in, when they were expressing ourselves as soul brothers and sisters. That was our attempt to define and be ourselves. Because when you say soul, there's only one person that comes up in mind, and that is the descendants of a slave born in America. I'm proud to be myself.